the prepared speech, let me talk about the theme of the day. Today's accomplish were yesterday's impossibilities. When you have a goal and you work towards it continuously, sometimes or other you will see yourself actually moving closer to it. You might sometimes feel frustrated that despite so much of hard work, you are not able to achieve your goals. But today you remember from where you started. Are you at the same point today? No, right. Things take time. You have grown a lot from the beginning, and one day you will get to your dream as well. Never think that what you are unable to achieve today is impossible for you to be achieved. What you have today was impossible for you yesterday, but you made it. Likewise, the dreams that seems impossible to you today would come true tomorrow. It just need lot of confidence, positivity, and whole lot of patience. I would like to ask: is there anyone who feel difficulty before and finally you have achieved the goal? Is there anyone member like that? Yeah, please, Luciana.
Sorry, you want me to share, is it?
Yeah, I want to share.
Oh, I thought you just asking. Anyway, previously, of course, like public speaking, I have difficulty to talk in front of people, but after joining Toastmasters, it's get more comfortable each time. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, very well spoken. Even me also had a lot of difficulty, but today I am able to take a role like TMOD. It's also my achievement. Next, is there anyone other volunteer to share your experience? Is there anyone volunteer? Okay. Okay, for the benefit of guests, I would like to explain the structure of the meeting. The meeting is divided into 3 rounds. The first is the prepared speech round, where members will be delivering speeches based on the project and path that they have chosen. The second part of the session is the table topic round, where the member can practice thinking and speaking on their feet. This round is also known as improv speech session. Guests are welcome to participate in this round as well. The third final part is the evaluation round, in which all the prepared speeches as well as other aspects of the session will be evaluated by the general evaluator. As the Toastmaster of the day, it is my duty to introduce the role barrier who will assist me in the running of today's session. First, I would like to call to track the good and not good usage of grammarian. We have the grammarian of today's. Please explain your role and word of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Yes, as your grammarian this afternoon, evening, night, wherever we are, I will be listening out for good use of the English language and the poor use of the English language. I also have, do you have a word of the day or no?
Yeah, we can make it up. Yeah, do you want to make up something?
Well, important. Why not?
Very good,
because we're all important. So we'll have a word of the day, important. And obviously important is an adjective, is a chief principal, a chief or key person or a principal person. And it also could be used for somebody of great significance or value, a high rank or status. So you can grab that word important, such a hard word to get into your speeches or your table topics. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Yeah, very well. Liz? Now we can move to the prepared speeches. The first speaker for this round will be attempting level 2 project 1 from the dynamic leadership path. To evaluate this speech, we have Toastmasters Somesh Kumar. Somesh Kumar, I request you to please read out the speech objective. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Rosie is doing Dynamic Leadership Level 2, Project 1, Understanding Your Leadership Style, which is 5 to 7 minute speech. And the objective is share some aspect of a chosen leadership style or leadership styles in general, discuss style preferences when working with others, how to adapt the chosen leadership style to situations or leadership styles in general, and how they impact a group. All the best, Rosie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Somesh Kumar. Fellow Toastmaster and guest, please put your hands together for Toastmaster Ruziana Muhammad. Over to you, Toastmaster Ruziana Muhammad.
Thank you, Maritesh. What is Toastmasters tagline? Fellow Toastmasters and friends, let me share you my screen. Okay, this is Toastmasters tagline, where leaders are made. What does it mean? That means leaders are not born, they are made. And that means that it is a learnable skill. We can choose to learn it and to be a great leader, efficient leader, whatever leader we want to be. And the tagline helps to convey our mission and our purpose. And what is our mission? So our mission of Toastmasters International is that we empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. This is very important. Let's move on. The key words here is more effective. So we are learning to be more effective leaders and communicators. But I have read a lot of books in doing this project. And previously, I have read 1,000 other books as well on leadership. For example, this one, Go Giver Leader by Bob Burg and his friend. And this book talks about legendary type of leadership. And there is other books also like this book, Good to Great. It's talking about 5 levels of leadership. And recently I went to this program and they were talking about courageous type of leadership. And there's so many kind of leadership. And for example, there is also empathy kind of leadership promoted by Simon Sinek. So there are too many style of leadership. For example, Fatima, the other weeks talk about there are like 200 over styles of leadership here. So, but the most important thing about Toastmasters is that I've got to do the quiz to find my leadership types or styles, and the score, my highest score is in democratic type of leadership. What does it mean? That means that I got reached that decision by collective effort of few knowledgeable people to reach that decision. And the best thing about this project in Toastmasters is that it tells you the flaws in that kind of leadership. So in democratic kind of leadership, the flaws is that there could be delay in making decision because I have to get concerted effort of few people. And because of that, there is an important point to remember. And I'm also teaching tools to make tools in decision making, which would help that, because I remember one great leader said a wrong decision is first not making a decision or delay in making decision. So this is very, very important. And I want to go to the next one by asking you one word. What can you say of this word that I'm sharing with you now? For example, visionary. What comes to your mind of a leader? For me, I could think of is John F. Kennedy. He said one time that he's sending people to the moon. And he said, we are going to the moon. We are going to the moon. And the naysayers say, he's talking rubbish. There's no way people going to the moon. He's crazy. At that point, there's no rocket, no nothing. And he said, we are going to the moon. And look what happened today. With his vision, it's not only to the moon, but now we're on spaces everywhere. And how about this kind of style? What I can think of is like Richard Branson. How about this one? Persistent. And knowing this and learning in Toastmasters, we also at the back of our mind must remember about some of the bad leaders. You know, when they are surrounded and influenced by a lot of things, it could be leaders like this, corrupt. Okay, corruption is everywhere, and you see some and suddenly became so rich at the expense of the people with handbags and whatnot. How about this one? I don't want to say the words, but I'm just going to flash it also. And this is a lot now during this pandemic. All right. And also this kind of leaders. So knowing that there's a good kind of leadership and bad kind of leadership, and we are learning to be a better and great, efficient leader, what do you think of this guy? Well, I think he's got a visionary style, persistent, and also charismatic. Otherwise, we won't be here today. And the best thing about this guy is that it's not only about reading books. You see, I can read books about how to be a great speaker or efficient leader, effective leader, but would it be effective unless you just really doing it? So, and how do we do it in Toastmasters? We take leadership role, make mistakes, we learn, and we grow. Fellow Toastmasters and friends, in conclusion, there's too many styles of leadership out there, and we are aware that there's good leaders that inspire us. Until today, we are enjoying the fruit of the vision that they have then. Do you want to be like those leaders or that the other bad kind of leadership? Here we are here to learn and to be the best, effective, efficient, courageous, whatever it is. And the most important thing is that you are here where leaders are made. Thank you. Back to you.
Yeah, very well spoken. And you also explained about the leadership. Yeah, it's very nice.
Timer.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
The next second speaker for this round will be attempting level 1, project 1, project 4 from the effective coaching path. To evaluate this speech, we have Toastmaster Musa Saha Sabaria. I request you, please read out the speech objective. Over to you.
Looks like Sabaria is not here, is it?
Yeah.
I think she has some issues with the internet, it looks like.
Yeah. Is there anyone who would like to take the evaluation for second speaker?
Kaushal.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kaushal.
Yeah, thank you, Kaushal. Okay, shall I directly go for the speaker? Or also we will give an introduction, objective of the second speaker.
Sabaria is in.
Is your internet all right, Sabaria? Looks like there is
I
some
hope
issue,
so.
is it?
I'm yes, but you can hear.
Oh, it's not
Can you hear
clear.
me?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
hear.
Not clear.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. It is part of the speech.
welcome.
Eligible speech today is conduct presentation, and the purpose of this project is for the member to learn or present or organize well with speech.
Sorry, Sabria. Yeah, looks like there is some connection issue at your side. Maybe you can just listen, I would say, if that's okay.
I can listen.
Thank you. Apologies.
Yeah.
I think maybe we can go with Kaushal if that's okay. Apologies, Sabria. I think there's some serious connection issue, looks like, yeah. Okay, sorry, Marutesh, can take over.
Okay. Yeah. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Elizabeth Kavi. Over to you.
I hope I'm audible. I didn't test my gadget.
Yeah, you are audible and visible.
Thank you. How many of us received compliments today? Somebody appreciating your dressing and telling you are smart, or probably telling you that your watch is good, or that your frame that you believe is aging is glowing. Toastmasters and guests, we are very generous with complaints, but very mean with compliments. For me, I take that as negative feedback. Tony Blair says that human beings should give at least 5 compliments in a day and see its effect on the giver as well as on the recipient. Naomi Badger says that there are very many reasons why we should give compliments more. I only want to take us through 3 of these compliments as the reasons for compliments as given by Naomi Badger. First, compliments make an individual feel appreciated and valued. Can you remember Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs? He says at the bottom is the need to be loved, the need to be valued and appreciated. I remember in my lifetime, it must have been 1998. My husband left the country for Belgium to further his studies. I had 2 young children, a 7-year-old and one who was just about to turn 2. At that point in time, I didn't imagine that challenges would overwhelm me. My daughter was to go to class 1, that is primary 1, and getting a good school was a nightmare. Secondly, I didn't have the good nannies that I would really have wanted to have. Financial constraint was another challenge. My health also took a nosedive turn and I had to undergo a major surgery. As if that is not enough, I had a terrible motor accident. Amidst all this, I was still a career woman. I was teaching in high school. And apart from all these things that I was doing, I had to go for a residential 2-week national marking exercise. And that meant I had to leave my home and go elsewhere, about 360 kilometers away. I thought that this was good for me to stabilize our financial position. Little did I know that to my husband, that was negligence. That showed that I did not take our children to be important. So when he voiced it and told me, I think you are very, very irresponsible. How could you leave the children? I felt crushed. I felt devalued. I felt sad. In fact, I almost lapsed into depression. Because at that point, I felt that I was not appreciated, and yet this was a basic need. Compliments make the receiver of the compliment collaborate and cooperate with the person giving compliments. I am a member of my choir in my church, where I sing tenor. I'm not one of those good singers, but I know that I have a gift that when I put my foot onto something, I do it wholeheartedly. And so I prioritize my choir days. And like today, I missed to go because something special was happening. So one time, my choir director, as we were having a chat, told me, Elizabeth, I love your commitment. You are dependable. And I like it that you're always there in time. Oh, that made me feel good. I was excited. And I want to tell you, I have not become the best of the choir members, but I know that I am present whenever I am required. I know that my choir director and my choir trainers can depend on me because I cooperate with them and I also collaborate with them because they make me feel good by giving me those compliments. Thirdly, compliments make the giver as well as the recipient have a positive outlook towards life. In fact, it makes one be optimistic in life. According to Kendra Milan, she says that optimism is the opium of the people. And Alexander Pierce supports this by saying that optimism is the doctrine and belief that everything is beautiful, including what is ugly. Last week, as I walked in my neighborhood, because I do this every other day, I came across a young girl. She was walking as well. As we crossed, I looked at her and I told her, young woman, you are doing good to your body. You are doing it at the right time. She did not respond back, but her smile warmed me and I felt so good. In fact, I burst out into a song as I walked away. Toastmasters and guests, even though we find it so easy to complain rather than compliment, we should never forget the values of complimenting or the benefits of complimenting. That when you compliment, then you make somebody value themselves. When you compliment, you make the person collaborate and cooperate with you. And when you compliment, you also have a positive outlook, you as the complimenter and the person receiving the compliment. I want to give you a word of caution though. Be genuine about your compliments. Secondly, when you give compliments, do not expect response. It is okay when no response is given. And thirdly, be specific about what you are complimenting on. If it is my hair, if it is my dress, if it is my watch, be specific. Take it back.
Yeah, thank you, Elizabeth. You have spoken very well. Now it's time for second segment of the meeting. To provide us with the challenge for today's table topic round, we have the table topic master who will be conducting this session. Please help me in welcoming the table topic master for the day, Toastmaster Satya Narayana. Over to you, Satya Narayana.
Thank you. Thank you, TMOD. Greetings of the day, fellow Toastmasters. I have today, somehow I think it is missed. Today is the World Environment Day. I'm sure all of you are aware of it. Unfortunately, my WhatsApp is not working. I couldn't see the theme of the day, but I heard from Marutesh. Anyway, being World Environment Day, Pakistan is the host country today, this time. And the theme of World Environment Day this time is ecosystem restoration. As part of that, I tried to plant some, in my garden, I have a small garden. I tried to plant some plants, small plants, to show my kind of a responsibility towards the environment. Anyway, I'll not take much time. Let me start off this session, table topic session. I'll call one after the other. It's essentially on the environment. Theme is environment. These are cartoons. A friend of mine has made and shared with us on the group, Senior Citizens Group. I'm sharing that one after the other. Let me call. Are you able to see it?
Yes.
Are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
You're able to see the cartoon? I am not able to see it. That's
Yes,
well.
we can see it.
Yeah, yes, sir. We can
Okay,
see.
great. Yeah, thanks. May I request John to say something on this cartoon?
Directly this came up, it reminded me of what's happening off the shores of Sri Lanka, because there is a cargo boat which is actually sinking. And they're saying there's going to be an environmental catastrophe over there. And of course, the blame game starts coming up. I mean, they're suing because it's registered in Singapore. They're actually starting to sue the boat owners for millions of dollars. So at the moment, when I saw that, I thought, yeah, this is happening all the time. And I can name Torrey Canyon, which is another one, which was a very big oil slick that, well, I think it was over near Canada, that one, but all around. So this is not a one-off. This is happening all the time. And we have to put a stop to it somehow. But what do we do? And that's the dilemma. What do we do to stop something like this happening again? Are the ship owners at fault? Are the boats not seaworthy? This is what I ask myself a lot of the time. If you go on a ship, is it seaworthy? Does it get checked out? How often does it get checked out? Is it like an aircraft? It has to be maintained every time it lands and checked. I don't know anything about maritime, what happens in that area. So it's always a little bit clueless to me a lot of the time. And I hope that there are laws in place that these boats do get checked to make sure they are seaworthy, because our planet is at stake. Back to you.
Thank you, John. That was excellent. Very well. Quite an important topic on the environment, as essentially where the sea has to be protected, the oceans have to be protected. Many countries are now looking at a specialized fund to do that. Let me now call upon the Rock. Rock, the image is before you.
What am I supposed to do with this?
This is the image. You are able to see the image? The cartoon?
Yeah, I can see the image.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
There's no question.
do
You
on
have
it,
to
Phil?
you have to go on. You have to talk about it, about environment.
Just make something up? All right. Well, I think it's important to remember that the wildlife need to have stuff to eat just like we do. And obviously this tiger is going to go to the supermarket and get some bread, because you can tell by the caption there that he's thinking about having the bread to eat. I don't know if he has a family that he has to feed the bread to as well, but if he does, I'm sure it's important to their whole family. I think that he's looking at the sign over there, which shows the food world with the loaf of bread there on the sign. So he definitely knows where he's going. I think it's probably something that he's working towards, because he doesn't seem like he's moving very fast by this picture. looks like he's just dragging along. However, I think he does have the end goal in mind of how important that bread is to get it home to his family. Therefore, I think that he's on the right track and he's going to get it accomplished, even though it might take a little while to get it done. But I think that's the important thing, is just getting the bread and getting it home to the family. Mr. Tabletop Master.
Thank you, Rock. Excellent, very well done. Now let me move on to the next image. Before that, I would like to call upon Kathy. Kathy, please go ahead.
This is a very interesting topic. That if we could use the sweat of our brow from our exercises to actually water our plants. The thing that's interesting about this is that why are the plants in, it appears that we're indoors. Why are the plants indoors? How are the plants going to get their sunshine? We were just talking about growing our own gardens earlier, and how are we going to get the sunshine? And I think that sweat would be very salty. But we are getting our exercise. It looks like we're on an extreme incline, which would have me sweating. But it looks like we're going really fast, going nowhere. I'd rather see the plants outdoors rather than inside. But we're going an uphill battle. I'd rather see us sweating outdoors if the weather's nice than going up an incline. You could go look at a beautiful hill outside. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you, Kathy. Excellent, very well said. Now I move on to Maria.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is your image.
Okay. Thank you so much for this wonderful image, sir. Sorry, I'm not able to turn on my camera. So I think this is apt for the current situation because the people are struggling, especially in India, where we cut more number of trees in the capital city and even in Bangalore. Because of that, we have faced the consequences. We have struggled for, we have paid amount to buy the oxygen. So all these things happened because of too much of cutting down trees. So the nature has shown what will happen if you cut down trees. What are the consequences we are about to face if we test nature? That has been truly proven. So in this picture, the man who's cutting a tree and the birds, they don't have any place to stay, and finally come and sits on the man's head. So of course, this is kind of a thing which relates to our life also. So we all have a place to stay and we have a protected place. We must think of the other creatures in the world too. So we are comfortable in the world inside four walls. So what about the birds and other creatures which is in the forest? So if we cut down too much of trees, where they will go? So as a human being, we are responsible of our environment. This picture clearly states that, and this is a lesson for each and every human being, I believe. This one picture tells what as a human being we should perform as a duty to nature. And a wonderful picture and a wonderful cartoons are. So this one tells a wonderful, very big story, I believe. Thank you for giving this picture. Over to you.
Thank you. Very well said, Maria. Very well said. Do I have time for another last one, Marutesh? Do I have time for one more? Okay. Now I call upon Madhu. Madhu, you can see this image.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Toastmasters, sir. for giving the very nice image. What the thoughts I am getting by looking at this image, like the cherishable childhood days, all the people were playing in the environment because there were many natural gifts we got from the nature, that is trees or plants, animals. With that we were playing, but nowadays it got disappear because all the human once he became cunning, like he want to live on this earth irrespective of the animals, birds and plants. So for his own sake and for his purpose, he had cut the trees. And what it happened, like how the childhood we played with the trees and plants, we used to go in the forest, but nowadays there is no such kind of adventures we can see because the environment already abolished from the human. Hence there is no enjoyment nowadays. So now the children cannot play with the environment, only they are stick to the screens, the computer or TV or mobiles. What the opportunities we had got in the childhood days, now they are not getting. That is what my thought by looking at this picture, because of the environment. Over to you, Toastmaster Satya sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. With this, I come to end of this table topic session. I hand over back to TM Modi. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was really an interesting table topic session. Now let us start the last session of the day, the evaluation session. Now I would like to welcome the General Evaluator, Toastmaster John Khalid Brigaden, to evaluate the whole meeting with this tag team. Over to you, John.
Thank you very much, Maritesh. I have a lot of problems with Chinese names. Some people have a lot of problems with English names. It's Brigden. It's like, yeah. So we've got two, I believe one has changed. So the second evaluator is causal, I believe. So the first evaluator, I'll straight away call on the first evaluator, and that is Sumesh Kumar, who is actually evaluating Rosanna. So over to you, Sumesh.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. And Rosanna, excellent speech. This has been your best speech until now. I've heard you speak many, many times, and I can vouch that this has been your best speech until now. So congratulations on that. The way you started off, where leaders are made, one of the things about giving a speech is we have to take our audience on a journey. It's like I've given this metaphor to our speech crafters. I was conducting speechcraft session and I gave this metaphor. It's like taking people out in a car and asking them to look at the beautiful scenery and then coming back home and giving them something to drink or eat. This is what you have done actually. What you have done is you started off with where leaders are made and you ended with where leaders are made. And this is a perfect way of giving a speech. You start from one place and then we go and then we come back to that place and then we stop. So excellent. And you had rhetoric questions over there as well, where you were asking questions, but you were not expecting answers, but you were asking the question there. The presentation was excellent. The way you used the PowerPoint with the words flying across was excellent. I think it was eye-catching. It catched the imagination of the people who were looking at it. And very less words, which is what everyone says in all the, any kind of evaluation when people are doing, they say that PowerPoint should not have too many words, because what happens is people start reading it and people do not look at the speaker. It creates a lot of distraction. We had just few words And the words were, whatever words you had to emphasize, you kept it on the screen. The words that you did not want to emphasize, the negative words, you just let them go. Excellent way of, I would say this was very innovative presentation, excellent speech. I really am thinking what recommendation I should give. Let me think. I think in terms of the books that you were showing, that's probably the thing. You could have just kept it side and then just immediately shown it. You know, you're sometimes it was dropping, and I don't know, I think you kept it somewhere low or somewhere. So if you just kept it on the side and just quickly show, that might be a small kind of recommendation that I would give. But otherwise, this has been your best speech so far. So please continue this way of speaking. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Samesh. It's important to make sure that the speaker understands the evaluation. So very good, well said, with a lot of clarity in that evaluation. So our second evaluator, who is evaluating Elizabeth, is Causal. Causal, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Elizabeth. Thank you for your speech about the value of giving compliments. Giving compliments is something I'm not good at. It's something I seek to improve in myself. So your speech is a helpful motivator for me. I loved that you stood when you gave your speech because it helped you give good, effective hand gestures. You also had great eye contact. I could notice that you looked at the camera and you also looked at the people in the audience. And even when you looked away from the camera to reflect, that was effective. I liked how you emphasized certain words like very mean. You really brought out the mean part of that. And I would encourage you to try to emphasize more words throughout your speech. For example, when your choir director gave you some compliments telling you how much value you were, I think you could have added some emphasis to that choir director's words to help really make them feel more meaningful. I liked the points of your speech that compliments make the individual feel valued and make the complimenter feel better. You said at the beginning of your speech that you would have 3 points, and maybe I was not listening close enough, but I only heard 2 points. The compliment to make the individual feel valued, and compliments help the giver feel more positive. So I heard you saying point number 1 and point number 3, but I did not hear point number 2, and maybe I just missed that. I also feel that maybe when you were talking about how you felt devalued by your husband's criticism, I think you spent a lot of time setting up that story, and maybe making it a bit shorter and more concise would help, because I was wondering for a long time where that story was going. I really liked how you ended with 3 additional points in your speech. Be genuine, don't expect a response, and be specific about what you're complimenting. But I think it wasn't clear to us when your speech ended. So try adding something like, back to you, Mr. Toastmaster, something like that, because there was some silence at the end, and we weren't clear on when it ended. But thank you again for this great speech on the value of giving compliments, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Causal. Again, a very good evaluation there. And it's important to do good evaluations for everybody, so everybody is learning. It doesn't matter how far they've gone in Toastmasters. You can be in Toastmasters 20 years and you can still learn something. And I know that from meeting quite a few Toastmasters. So I'm going straight on to the report from our grammarian. So could the grammarian give her report, please?
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. First of all, with the word of the day, I didn't hear it until John has just mentioned it twice. Well done, John. Such an important thing to do. Important to say the word of the day. Thank you for that. Being the General Evaluator, one of the things I'm listened for were some word fillers, some ums and ahs. Overall, well done to everyone. There were a few people that need to just keep an eye out, especially Madhu, Matesh, John, and Koza. I heard a few ums and ahs coming over from you guys. Everyone else, not so many, but just keep an eye on them. Regarding word usage, I've just written down a few things that I heard, which I thought were really nice. When Rosie was saying, he's crazy, it's like, great visual word there. The key word, empathy and leadership, you can understand things about that within that leadership style. And also when you mentioned the flaws in leadership, a sentence that you said, the key words is, I think perhaps it's the key words are. Apart from that, awesome, well done. Samesh, who was evaluating, well done, introduction to that, Samesh. And you were saying words like eye-catching. Eye-catching, I thought just summed up some of the things that Rosie had done. So thank you for that. On one thing, Samesh, I think you were saying regarding the PowerPoint, very less words. Perhaps something like minimal use of text would have worked on that one, but otherwise brilliant. Elizabeth was glowing with them and we are mean with compliments, and she is a career woman. Lots and lots of words coming out from there. Collaborate and coordinate. Oh, it was causal. Sorry, I was just trying to figure out who was evaluating you on that one, Elizabeth. So causal was saying things about to seek to improve in myself, which I thought was really good. There was some breaking up of the, I don't know if it was my system or others, but I didn't catch a few of the things, I don't think. Overall, I think we had really good use of words, environmental master play, catastrophe, that John said, put a stop to it, dragging along, salty sweat, lots of descriptive things. So thank you for those words tonight, and back over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Grammarian Liz. I'm English, so I'm allowed to use ums and ahs. Did you know that? It's part of our language. Let me get a move on.
Is it?
Okay, I shall now give my report. We started, I got in about 2 or 3 minutes before 2 o'clock or 9 o'clock here. And it was about 4 minutes past that we actually started. So it was a little bit late starting. And by the time we got to table topics, we were actually 7 minutes behind time, according to the time that I've got on the agenda. But we're now at 21:53 or 2:54. So we've got 6 minutes and I've only got 4 minutes to 5 minutes to finish off. So that's not doing too bad. Okay. A couple of things. I've never got on with this agenda that you get from whatever you get it from. It does need an upgrade. We are theoretically an advanced club, but this is not advanced. It's actually back in the dark ages as far as I'm concerned. So we need to actually upgrade it, because if we've got a person that's just come to our club and they've got that or they find that, it does not give them a lot of information, because I've put the times down as each one has been done. And on a normal agenda, even an online agenda like my own club, everyone has a time that they start. So you can actually see who's starting, who it is, and everything as you go through. So we probably need to look at that at some time. The ESCO might sit down and talk about that at some time in the future to see if we can upgrade that to an advanced copy at some time. There's a little bit of confusion about speakers, what level, what project they were on. So we need to get a handle on that at some time. I believe, again, as we're an advanced club, we should be familiar with pathways, which level we're on, which project we're doing, how many projects in level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know there's only 15, roughly 15 in each pathway, speeches to do in a pathway. So it's relatively easy to find out how many on each level. Apart from that, I think it went very well. Satya, that was brilliant. I loved that table topics. Can I borrow it at some time? Because it gets right to the point. An image does a lot. You don't have to say words. You just show an image and that says it all. My one, when I saw there, my mind straight away went to this, the boat that sunk just off Sri Lanka, Tory Canyon, that went down and killed thousands of birds at one time. So it hit me straight away when I saw that image of the ducks, and the rest of them were very good. So I enjoyed that table topics very well, and everybody at the table topics was spot on. Very good table topics tonight. I thought everybody was brilliant. Everybody got their message across, and I enjoyed that table topics, and it lent my ear straight away. And anybody who was a guest here would have enjoyed that as well. I'm sure of it. And it's something that we should aspire to, is to be like Satya and nail those table topics, because that's an area that the guests we can get to actually ask them to speak. So I thought that was very good. 2 good evaluations, 2 good speakers. I thought they were very, very good speakers. I liked Elizabeth. You could see she seemed calm, collected. She stood back, so you could see the top half of her belly, so you could actually see those gestures. Very good, Rosanna. I liked the way that the words came in and came out again, the other side. I'm going to have to look to see how that is done, because I can see a lot of possibilities to use that in the future. So I thought that was very good. One thing, Rosie, as you saw Elizabeth, try and show more of the top half of you. It's like at the moment, you've just got a head. Yeah. And it's like having a talking head. So be very careful of that you can see a little bit more of you, so you can actually use these. That's the only thing that I could see that needed improvement there. Okay. As I said, the evaluators, they evaluated very well. It's always good to hear good evaluations, and Kausal and Samesh were very good evaluations there. And you did the speakers proud by giving those evaluations. So they were very good evaluations. And I'm now going to stop because it's on the red. Like most English people, we like to talk, but I will have to shut up now. So I will hand over to the Toastmaster of the day, or evening, or the morning. Over to you.
Yeah, very well evaluated by Toastmaster John Dunn. Now I would like, now I am over the stage to the hand over the stage to the President, Toastmaster Somesh, for any announcement. Thank you. Over to Toastmaster Somesh.
Thank you very much, Marutesh, for conducting very efficiently this meeting. Thank you so much. I think we had some teething issues, as they say, but we overcame that. Thank you very much, Lee, for jumping in with the grammarian so quickly and giving that so easy word, which we unfortunately could not use much. Important is such an easy word. I think probably that's the reason. If some words are easy, we just take it for granted and we don't use it, I would say. I think something like that does happen. And if it's too complex, again, I think the same thing happens. But you're so great. Quickly you came up with a word, and thank you so much. And thank you very much, Lee, for joining us. Hope you get well soon, Lee. Take care of your health. And thank you all. It was a fantastic meeting again. It's great that we are able to meet every week and progress our journey towards communication and leadership development. So thank you so much. The next week is, as we all know, it's the Charter celebration. So Mr. Richard Peck will be there, the international president. And according to his assistant, what he said was he'll be there for half an hour, but he could actually stay for the whole hour as well. So what he said was he would congratulate the charter members, and then he would do a question and answer session. So I just want to confirm on what it is. I was actually thinking that maybe it was a good suggestion from Kaushal actually last time. He was saying about how the club came into existence. Probably you could talk about that. So what I thought was, I'm kind of doing this DTM project. So I was thinking probably I'll do this 8 to 10 minute speech. I'll try to complete in 8 minutes time, just to inform how the club came into existence. And I don't know, maybe I could actually, what I was thinking was I could check with the assistant of international president, and just after I speak, he could actually take over and he could probably give me an evaluation. I think he generally does participate in the meeting as a role holder. So what I was thinking was I'll do the speech, 8 minute speech, and then I'll ask him to evaluate and then continue with his speech. What do you all think? Would that be a good way of running that session?
So measures this before or after after he congratulates?
I was thinking
before.
Yeah, I was thinking. I think first when he comes in, I have to introduce him, and there is some kind of general introduction that is given to him. So that we can do.
Yeah.
Then the thing is, my thinking is, should we have what are the roles that we should have? It's a special meeting, but should we have some standard roles? Like, should we have Toastmaster, Topics Master, Grammarian?
I think maybe the thing would be to look at the time frame and what's required. So the Toastmaster maybe, because the Toastmaster would just introduce, or you could as president. And so the meeting gets opened by you need somebody to open the meeting clearly. I've seen that fail, unfortunately, many, many times when nobody's really taken that lead to open the meeting. So Sergeant at Arms, just to say, right, let's get going and hand over to the next person, either yourself as president, and then lead it from there. And I was in one a few months back, and it was like 10 minutes late because nobody had really allocated a Sergeant at Arms and everyone was talking. So, and obviously Richard may only have half an hour. So it's that frame there. So I really believe that the Sergeant at Arms or somebody designated to actually start the meeting on, are we starting a bit later? Is it a 3 o'clock start?
No, we'll start at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a good job I clarified that then. So that was really important, I think. And then take your agenda from there. So the Sergeant at Arms, bang, we're here. It's 2 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen, all welcome and welcome. And then whether the Sergeant at Arms is the one that acknowledges the international president is there and everybody else, and then hands over to yourself, perhaps as president. And then as an introduction, you could do your 8 minute speech and ask if Richard would evaluate that. And that's taken you almost 20 minutes. If you've got 8 minutes, a 3-minute evaluation, 12 minutes maybe into it, and then he's got half an hour to do the induction, to do the thing.
I think you need a Toastmaster of the day.
Yes, yes.
I think you need a Toastmaster of the day to do the introduction and to MC it, to make sure that everything starts. So you have the Toastmaster of the day. You've got to, I think it's prudent to say something about Toastmasters, like Smedley, how it formed or anything like that. So a quick minute to 2 minutes about how Toastmasters was formed, because we've got the big guy there. So we want to show that we're aware of where the roots are coming from. Then we can introduce Samesh, yeah, and he then goes into his speech for 8 minutes. If he's going to evaluate, I think you need a little bit of time to give him at least 1 minute to 2 minutes.
He's an expert, John.
Yeah. Oh, I've met a lot of experts, but but you've still got even in a context.
Some topics in between then. Would
You give
It's your time frame though, Samesh. So you need to see exactly, if he's saying he's only going to be there for half an hour, you have to work that half an hour for him. And if he can stay longer, it's a bonus. But half an hour for him could be crucial, that he may come in, just be able to do the award ceremony, you know, the hello, welcome to your founder members, and then may need to leave. So there may not be a time that he can evaluate after that, or whichever. If he's only there for half an hour.
So should we actually start with congratulation of the charter members, maybe, is it? Maybe that might be the best thing to do. And then if he has time, he can continue to be.
But see what his PA says, because very often it hinges on what we're getting back from TMI when we've got the top-notch people in our meetings. And it's also how when I had quite a lot of our DLT at the meeting, and it was the pecking order. It was quite interesting because initially I didn't have the division director, the district director, and I had like Elizabeth Jordan, for example, the VPPR person. She was the most senior, and I went, "Oh, would you like to do a few closing remarks?" And then before I knew it, I had Brenda Lannon, I had Jared Mannix, and then suddenly I had a regional director coming in. I'm like, "Oh my God, you have to turn it." So at least you only have Richard.
Yeah,
so
I understand, Liz. Yeah,
it's acknowledging, him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In our case, I had this idea of having the district directors and all, but I don't think we are going ahead with that. No. So I don't think there would be any, like, there might be some guests who are coming in who have registered for this meeting, because we have actually gone for a registration. So people will register, and those who have registered, they will join. So we would have some guests. We would have our members, all the members who can join. And I would really recommend if all the charter members could be there. I think that'll be great.
Yeah.
The only thing
I mean, is he doing it as an individual? Is he saying all the names individual? That's like 21 names individually.
What I did from my side was I actually have created this. I'll just share the screen. I was doing this. Are you seeing the screen?
Yeah.
So I actually created this kind of presentation where, you know.
All right.
Just you can, you know, if he wants to use, we can probably use like this, you know. So all this, so we have all the members, all the charter members here.
Yeah.
So I can just probably do this, you know, when he's saying, I can just share the screen and I can just say this. Basically.
So you can just put those names up as, that's good. That looks nice.
Yeah, I just thought that maybe that might be good, you know, when he's saying so.
Yeah,
I took a bit of time and I created that. Yeah.
I like, you know, the way it flows is like, say, getting someone to start the meeting, and like John saying that I think the Toastmaster, because you've got a focus of who to go back to and who takes the next bit forward. So your sergeant, I mean, the Toastmaster could be the sergeant at arms. You just need to have that person open and then say, welcome everybody, blah, blah, blah. I'd now like to hand over to our president. And then you say your bit back to Toastmaster, or it might be pertinent for you to introduce Richard.
Yes.
Yeah, but it depends what you're going to do. If you're going to do your speech, it would come back to the Toastmaster perhaps, and then have another little introduction, then go back to you as president rather than a speaker to introduce Richard. And then Richard does his thing and maybe say, if you are able to stay, would you evaluate at the end your speech? And if you can't, we can have a backup evaluator sitting there, if that's how it works.
You'd have to ask his PA.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll get in touch with him actually.
Yeah.
I'll ask. So let's decide then in terms of the Toastmaster. Who would like to volunteer for the Toastmaster?
No speakers, we are great and no changing.
There's nobody doing it.
Lee, do you want me to volunteer you?
Sorry, Arthur?
I was saying, Lee, do you want me to volunteer you?
Voluntold, is it?
I'm volunteered.
It depends on whether we're doing that Kahoot game or not.
Oh, right. Yeah. Kahoot, yes.
Sorry, guys. I have a sexy husky voice today.
I think, Lee, shall we do that then? 10 minutes of Kahoot, yeah? Well, yeah, and it should be on some international culture. What do you think is the topic? Culture across the world, is it?
Yeah, it was either culture across the world or a combination of, I don't know whether you will have Toastmasters themes or questions, but I think across the world or diversity or culture will be good.
Yes,
because
cultural diversity. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of us are from different countries or different cultures. So you get some tricky ones as well as some easy ones.
Might also, at the beginning of the meeting, like since we have a lot of people registering, make sure that everybody's got the Kahoot set up to be able to answer at the early part of the meeting so that we're not like, because one time we did it and I'm like, it took me a little while to actually get logged into it. So I missed like the first couple of questions. So maybe
put
in the agenda so that everybody's ready to do that. So we're not spending a whole bunch of time downloading the app. I love that. I thought it was so much fun, but it took me a little while.
Do it, like if the Kahoots, you're here a few minutes early and then just before it starts and get people to start doing it. And then intermittently, you could put a chat message into the group and say, please put this registration and please put this number in to get your Kahoots up. Because it doesn't particularly take long. It's just people trying to do it all at once and then you can see it coming up. But it's tricky, especially when people come in late or they join bang on time, and we really need to start on time on that meeting. I think it's a really important thing. And getting the Kahoots, I'm not sure, Lee, can you actually give people the registration for the Kahoot beforehand? I mean,
yes, as long as I start the game in Kahoot, then there is a number, the pin.
So you can get that.
Then I can get that
early. Yeah. And just getting them. Yeah. So that's right. You can put it in the chat. That's right. That's what we did. Yeah. I'm getting myself muddled. That's correct. I remember now. We had a little session where the Kahoots master, we gave him a minute or two at the beginning, and then got people to do it, and then intermittently we were just putting the number in the chat for people to download it.
So just a suggestion, Lee, if your voice is better and you're our Toastmaster, I'm the SAA and usually I'm supposed to be here early to get to greet everybody. I can make sure I'm here extra early next week. So, because we'll probably have people joining us even earlier. But if you could get me that information, I could be able to put that in the chat while I'm welcoming people.
Sure.
Basically, as Sergeant of Arms, that's all that everybody's had me do is just like welcome people when they come in here. If I can get logged in early, but I can try to get here extra early and have that information and be putting it in chat as people are coming in. Because you know how the chat goes, it keeps heading up. So I can just copy and paste and make sure everybody's ready for that when they come in. They can start working on that as we're rolling in. Sound like a plan?
Is the meeting extended, or is it still a hard 3 o'clock finish? Or are we just allowing it to go and enjoy the afternoon?
Yeah. My idea was that, that's why we had Kaushal actually having set of music sent to him. So we could just start playing the music after the meeting. After the formal meeting ends, we could just start playing the music, and we could just say that this music is from this country, this music is from this country, and something like that. Just have some fun in the end. Probably Richard Peck might leave, I think. I'll need to check again. 30 minutes was what the assistant said, but then he said that he could actually stay for an hour as well.
Okay.
So
that looks
so in that case, Somesh, maybe we need to optimize the first 30 minutes for all the core business.
Yes.
Because I'm looking at what you have shared here. It looks like almost 30 minutes will be gone before he even speaks.
No, actually, so intro of Richard Speck, and then commendation of charter members and Richard's speech, So immediately the first thing that we're doing is that. First thing that we're doing is the core business. That's the core business, that he's coming to congratulate the charter members, and then he speaks. So,
I've seen him twice before, and he stayed for the whole amount. And there's one I went, it was 2 hours. So
yeah. I think he does, John, from what I hear, he does stay. He quite enjoys it, but equally, it's just that preparation in case if they're saying he can have 30 minutes, where they're saying he needed 30 minutes to do this presentation, or he could only stay that 30 minutes, and whether they do that in case something else crops up for him, I don't know. But yeah, he does tend to stay, I believe. Yeah. He's been quite enjoying himself zooming around, I believe. Yeah. But that looks pretty good. So when you intro Richard, then in getting the agenda to flow in that as well, that can all go on the agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is it Anvita that does the agenda? She the VP, is she?
Yeah.
Is she good with the she knows Easy Speak, or is she new with it?
Yeah, since the time we started using Easy Speak, we are not having because it's dependent on that format. Before we were doing our own agendas using our own format. But since we started using Easy Speak, I think it's been a little bit learning kind of thing. It's a learning curve,
Yeah.
How to make use of the,
You just, all of this can go on the agenda. You just, in the background, you just change it, and you have to create the rules in the background to enable it to come up on the agenda.
Yes.
So if Anvita, she's not very well at the minute, but I would be happy. I don't know if anyone else has conversed with it. I use it a fair bit as VPA in numerous bits and pieces. So
if you are like even from my perspective, I'm not really I know a little bit, but I don't know in depth about Easy Speak. So if you know quite a lot, then maybe it might be good if you can put this flow into Easy Speak, if that's okay.
Yeah, it can go in and what you have to the way you can make all the rules, like commendation of charter, you can make that an item on the agenda. And the Cahoots quiz can go on the agenda. It's just being able to do it. And it doesn't really take long. You can put them in, then you can shift them about to make it more. So if Richard decides he wants to listen to the Cahoots first and then do the commendation after, you just swap it. And I would just need to have administration background Smash as IT support or something that would give me all. I need the control to get into it in the background. Yeah,
I can do that. Yeah.
stick me in as something and I'll have a look at it. And then
Sure, yeah.
as it progresses, you can just swap it about. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I
if
think, you know,
if Anthika's feeling well, I don't mind going it through with her if she wants. I'll touch base with her and see, because she's a VP and she don't want any kind of
unfortunately she said that she has this she's
COVID.
having COVID actually, yeah.